spoke also with senior criminal defense attorney Wayne Sturge. Now, Wayne Sturge is possibly, if not the most competent and capable, the most well-known criminal defense attorney in this country. And anybody charged under any of these laws would need an attorney of the ilk of Wayne Sturge to be able to deal with this issue in the public courts. So I have asked Wayne Sturge, and he said he is on standby for the call, and I'm going to try and get him on the phone right away, get him early. The clip, the conversation between Sturge and I, we're going to try and keep that under 10 minutes so that we could edit that out and send that out back into the public space to go viral, the information. Because what they plan to happen in the parliament needs to be responded to.
Hello?
Wayne, good evening.
Good evening.
You're live now. Is it now is okay for you?
Yeah.
Okay? Right, so everyone, Trinidad and Tobago, this is Wayne Sturge, as I mentioned earlier. Wayne, let's jump right into it because I know you're very, very busy. This promise, threatened law that further erodes human rights in this country, the right to free enjoyment of property. What's your take on this?
Well, it obviously is unconstitutional, so it would need a 3/5 majority to get through the parliament.
So you're saying that he could lay it in the parliament, but there is no way that he could pass it without the support of the opposition?
Correct. Well, it would definitely fail in the lower house if that is where he starts, so it wouldn't get to the Senate. But what he could do is pilot the bill.
Wait, don't give him any advice and information that he don't have, you know. Don't help him.
No, he's done this before.
Okay.
What he'll do is most likely pilot the bill in the Senate, and once he gets the support of, I think, 5 or 6 independent senators, then it would pass in the Senate, and he'll use that to put political pressure on the opposition when it goes to the lower house. I don't think it would work because they wouldn't budge. And the thing is, the independent bench of the Senate, they are all appointed by the president, who was the PNM's choice of candidate for president. Well, she was the only one, but she's a creature of the PNM. So that obviously the two are independent senators, they've all proven themselves to be a PNM B team.
Now, you see, I want to say to you, though, that in my very limited experience, Her Excellency seems to be trying to come across even-handed, and I don't want to speak for anybody, you know that's not my role, but I want to give her the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, Wayne, I mean, our choices are limited. This country is set up so badly. Because as you were saying, pilot the bill in the upper house, but I was going to tell you, none of those people are elected. They don't speak for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. They speak for political office holders who have appointed them. So that is not in any way democratic. That does not allow the people. So it still has to come back down to the opposition. What do you think? Do you think that the opposition, now that they've stopped the government in its tracks with the anti-gang bill, and I have found that the public was not taking all of the chain up of why we needed this anti-gang bill, because people were underwhelmed by the government's entreaties that we are all going to fall apart now as a country because we don't have an anti-gang bill, when everybody knew, and you put the information in the public space, that 9 years of an anti-gang bill, we got 0 convictions. Now, I know that the Commissioner of Police needs as many tools as he could get, and I would support Gary Griffith in his pursuit. But I also am aware that laws are not contingent on commissioners of police or any other office holder. And that same law that I trust Gary with, even though I know it is onerous and draconian, it could end up in the hands of another commissioner of police that I may not trust.
Well, you don't even need to go as far as the commissioner of police. Look back to 2011. And That will give you a clear example. In 2011, they passed the anti-gang bill. It's the same anti-gang bill that was before the Parliament recently for the extension of a sunset clause. And there was wisdom in certain a sunset clause in 2011 because of how draconian it was. And the draconian nature by itself, that's not the issue. The issue is how it interferes with constitutional rights. And because of the scope of interference and the depth of interference, it was felt that you needed, since the effect of it, it was felt that you needed to check on it 3 years hence, and to keep checking on it to see, to determine the efficacy of the measure. And it turned out to be totally useless after 9 years. But going back to 2011, the point you were making about the commissioner is not necessarily the commissioner. The act in 2011 was misused by the police. And that's why you had no convictions. And if you're going to give the police power, you have to be sure that the police wouldn't misuse it. And from what we've seen, I mean, the police generally might be well-intentioned, but as well-intentioned as they were, they misused it en masse in 2011. And the people who suffered the most would have been, I don't want to say PNM supporters, but those are the lowest rung of the socio-economic ladder. So,
I would think
the ones who suffer the most.
I would think though the taxpayers are the ones that suffer the most in the end.
Well, with this one, if they're going to pass legislation which says that you don't need a warrant to enter a house, the reality is that they do that already, and because there are no proper checks and balances, they do it, and then when the issue comes up, they can always go by a justice of the peace and backdate the summons. Sorry, the warrant. Right?
That is a damning allegation that you're making there. Are you saying that takes place in Trinidad and Tobago?
Of course it does. The thing is, you know when the public would be quite aware of this? The public would be quite aware of this when they start televising court proceedings, and then you'll know what happens. Because the justice of the peace, he needs the police, and the police need him. It's a quid pro quo. So if they have to help him, he must help them. So a lot of the times they'll do what they need to do because they felt it was expedient, and then they'll go and ask the GPs to backdate it. And that usually comes out in court cases during cross-examination. It becomes obvious, and then at that point, that's why you have so many acquittals. Of course, the JPs would deny it in the same way they deny taking money for granting bail and so on. But the fact is, if you don't pay them for showing up at the station, the grant bail, they're not going to come. So the reality is very different from what most people think.
Back to this issue here, though.
Mm-hmm.
The opposition.
The issue is that they'll continue to do what they were doing, and I think the desires of the past as well might be twofold. Because the thing is, the police have been caught in the past, which at the end of the case resulted in civil proceedings for malicious procurement of warrants and that sort of thing, and the state has to pay money. So now the Attorney General might be saying on the first hand, well, if we don't need a warrant, then we could never be sued for malicious procurement of a warrant. That's one. The other thing is, and to be real honest, I don't think the Attorney General seriously thinks he is going to get this passed through Parliament. So this might very well be another distraction, because that's what governments do. They do things to provoke reactions, and whilst you're busy out in one fire, they're doing something else, and you're distracted and you're not seeing it.
And that's an absolute fact We've
That's practical.
we've been seeing that a lot, and the wheels within wheels that these people have. You have to keep your eye on every play because you can't say you're taking your eye off that play because then they'll pass that, and you're gonna
Yeah.
lose either way. So you have to keep your eyes on the play and on the play that they're trying to hide from you too.
Well, it requires more so in this country a vigilant population and vigilant activists like yourself and a couple others. Because the thing is, the people who are supposed to be policing the government, that's the media, they are owned by the government, or owned by government financiers. So you can't expect them to do any policing for you.
So at this juncture tonight, and Trinidadians want to hear this from someone like you. At this juncture tonight, our situation is we are relying on the opposition to block
Yeah.
this bill from passage.
Yeah, I mean the opposition, whether you like them or not, they are a safeguard. So they are the first port of call because they represent perhaps 50% of the 30% who voted.
Yeah.
The rest of us are not really represented. So we chose that. But in essence, when the opposition stands up against the government, it has the potential to protect all of us, those who voted for
No,
the
absolutely.
opposition,
No, absolutely.
who voted against
No, absolutely,
the
and I
opposition.
accept that.
So
But
it's a safeguard. So yeah, we are dependent on them, and sometimes you need to take your political hat off and see the value. Now let me just say this because this narrative that I'm about to say, this narrative has not been in the public domain too much, but it didn't get a lot of traction. But David Lee, I saw a statement from him, I think it was on his Facebook post. I don't know, I wasn't there in the parliament, I don't follow the parliament, but he said in essence, well, if you want the anti-gang bill, implement the procurement legislation. And I think that is what the opposition needs to do, because that's one of the most important things. In fact, Gary Griffith himself said that criminals are getting state contracts. And the very thing to prevent that would be procurement legislation.
the existing procurement legislation, that bill, you think it has the teeth? You think it has what is required? I mean, when you look at the Integrity in Public Life Act, we was celebrated when we got an Integrity in Public Life Act, but I interviewed the president.
It was celebrated because we didn't understand it.
Well, right, so it's toothless.
The Integrity Commission is, well, if I say this wrongly, you would love to hear it, so you could abolish it. It's practically useless, but it's useless not because of the legislation, it's useless because of the personnel.
So,
The personnel happen to be chosen by a president who's chosen by a political party. So it's useless. It's useless. That's the point. The procurement legislation. I don't know if you go back to all of the speeches of Faris Arawi in debates from 2010 to 2015. One of the things he said, we want this, we want that, we want the other. One of the things he said, we want campaign finance reform, we want procurement legislation, we want follow the money, whatever, explaining your wealth. Okay? They did not in the last 5 years bring campaign finance reform because it doesn't benefit them. And the government from 2010 to 2015 passed procurement legislation, so that's what Faris wanted, and he got it. He got it. Now he's in government, and they found fault with it, and they said it wouldn't work. We need to amend it to make sure it can work. And within a few months, they came up with some amendments, and they amended it, and they said, "Oh, okay, it's fine, it would work." That's 2016. 5 years later, why has it not been implemented? Those needs more amendment because you were in government since 2015, so you have 5-6 years to amend it, and you did amend. So if you amended it the first time, and don't come now and tell me it needs amendment, because you were there and you would have seen what amendment was needed, and you did nothing. And I think we are at a stage, I don't know if it's true or not, there's something floating around about the bus shed transport costing 700,000. That is unimaginable. But again, when I saw it, I took it with a pinch of salt because I said to myself, there are persons in the government, in the political party that is the PNM, who would feed false information to say it's 700,000 so that the government would get an opportunity, they'll allow traction, people will get upset, and then they'll have an opportunity to stand up in the parliament and say, no, it doesn't cost 700,000, it costs 100,000, and look, we can prove it here. And then the population would say, oh, you know, this government is really transparent, and, you know, it wasn't 700,000, that was mischief and all that. But the damn thing is, it shouldn't cost 100,000 either. So the thing is, you have a government that would feed you misinformation, that's the first thing. And the second thing is, procurement legislation would deal with things like that. So I think the opposition is, I'm no longer political, but I think the opposition, if their take is, we're not going to cooperate with you unless you pass procurement legislation, then I think that's a good strategy because that's what we need now.
Yeah, the procurement legislation is quite possibly the most important piece of legislation that we could possibly have. But what I'm asking you is, you've read this law, you think that this law can do the job?
I think it can. Yes, it can. I was there when they amended it. I was there during the debate. It wasn't much of a debate because I went to a joint select committee and I had a look at the amendments, and Tiwari and we were the ones who looked at it, and we had one minor objection. I can't remember what it was, but the minor objection did not mean that the bill wouldn't work. It was simply something it wasn't even an objection, it was an improvement. It was saying this would improve the bill. I can't remember what it was. And they ignored us. But it's not something that was necessary to make the bill work. So there's nothing in the procurement legislation that has already passed through the Houses of Parliament that makes it unworkable. It's quite workable. There's no political will to make it work.
I want to ask you a question. State briefs. Lawyers getting state briefs. A fellow named Javed Imandi is writing plenty posts on it on the thread. You see on both sides, lawyers getting state briefs. Would that procurement legislation have anything to do with state briefs and what lawyers are paid and that kind of stuff? Besides things like this bus shelter or trying to sell wasa?
Potentially, it could have that impact. But the thing is, the legal profession is not as large as you think it is. And if it's not as large as you think it is, the issue is there are not many experienced lawyers who can represent the state. Hold on.
For those of you now joining, we have Wayne Sturge, criminal defense attorney Wayne Sturge, on the phone with us. Yeah, Wayne.
Yeah. So there are not many experienced lawyers who can do the job. So procurement legislation might not mean much. The other thing is there are checks and balances with respect to the legal profession, so that if you overcharge, the state can decide not to pay you. They can tax a bill. You can be brought before the disciplinary committee, things like that.
Has this ever been done?
I don't know if the state has ever done it.
Okay, let me draw your reference, right? Let me draw your reference.
Yeah.
So, a financier of the government hires a high-priced attorney to sue the state for $1 billion. The Attorney General settles that bill. Who do we turn to investigate or to make a report that the people's interests weren't zealously advocated for, we weren't protected, that the courts are being used as a means to enrich financiers?
That's a difficult question to answer because you'll have no locus before the Law Association to have them to investigate. You can't ask a court to tax the bill. You can perhaps, and I don't think they'll escape under public interest immunity if you go for FOI. So I'm not saying there's very little you could do, but usually what happens is you
No, I need you to say it, Wayne. I need Trinidadians to hear. Because
You
even though you are out of
definitely,
politics and you said to me you have zero interest in ever getting involved in politics again, Trinidadians need to hear that until they choose people for government who have a declared interest in ending the insanity of how our country is set up, Trinidad is designed to fail them on top, and that once you hold office, you could pretty much do what you want and get away with what you want.
well, let me, I'll give you a little anecdote and a little, well, just remind me, BMW, so I don't forget. Listen, when the partnership was in power, I got state briefs. The media, they wrote, when Paris came into office, they wrote Paris, and whereas the PNM government did not want to disclose how much they were paying lawyers during, hold on. Yeah, whereas the PNM government did not want to disclose how much they were paying lawyers, 2002 to 2010, and they made up all kinds of excuses in the parliament and elsewhere. When 2015 came, and the Express in particular wanted to know who was getting what, the Attorney General, Faris Harari, gladly gave out the figures. A lot of the figures were misleading. It said I got X amount and I didn't get it. And I did all the work. I sent all the bills. I'm still owed money, but I didn't get it. But from 2015 to now, has the Express, that particular reporter, has she written the Attorney General asking how much PNM lawyers are getting paid?
No, I mean,
She hasn't.
I stayed quiet. You mentioned in the media, I stayed quiet because Wayne, there's nothing left for me to say. I've been beating that dead horse for over a decade. And the media in Trinidad and Tobago is not a real media. Our journalists are not real professionals. There is no journalistic code of ethics in Trinidad and Tobago. Our boardrooms control and dictate what our newsrooms put out. Trinidad, you have to be a damn fool to believe what the media is putting out as to be complete fact.
Yeah, correct. But you know, the thing is, there are lawyers who are getting state briefs right now, and no sorrow briefs on my end, right? Their party is in power, and the political party will say we hired them because we trust them. And likewise, when the UNC gets in power, they'll say the same thing. We hired this bunch because we trust them. But the thing is, it's not only about state briefs. It's every other aspect. So if, for instance, a bus shed, which should cost a maximum of 15,000 TT, a absolute maximum, which would still be too much. If that really costs $700,000, well, let's say that's a fabricated figure. Let's say $100,000. Then who got the land share of the spoils? You see, and the public seems not interested in that.
I want to tell you something else. Things like a bus shelter. There are enough companies in Trinidad and Tobago that would pay for the construction of an even better, bigger bus shelter, KFC. And I have no brief to carry for KFC. Any of those companies would spend the money to build a bigger, better bus shelter for the constant impact advertising. The state never has to build a bus shelter of any kind. It seems to me that this was a handful of under-delivering, incompetent public officials who needed to give something to the public to say, look, we're working. It took five people earning hundreds of thousands of dollars to agree on a bus shelter on its location. Come on, it's ridiculous. And then to call it a transportation hub. Wait, I want to tell you something. I actually believe that this was a case of the political handlers creating this as a distraction. I don't believe that this is really the level that these people play at. I think that this was a deliberate hoax to get us chasing that as a red herring, and I'm not interested in it. I mean, I share the information, I put it out in the public space, but I'm not interested in that. I know the company that got the contract to build the bus shelter. I have a lot of information that if I wanted to pursue. But I think that that bus shelter right now is just a distraction. And if you look at the level of incompetence it would take to make it, it was like when the company that got the contract to put up the sign on top Piarco Airport entrance, and they put it in French and Spanish and German and Chinese. They also put it in Braille.
In Braille, yeah.
And I mean, the level of incompetence that it took for somebody to suggest it, somebody to agree, somebody to sign off, somebody to pay for it. And some of these things you have to just let pass. You can't, as you said earlier, some of these things really are to distract the population from the bigger things taking place. We have much bigger things taking place. We cannot take our eyes off Wassa. We can't take our eyes off Petrotren.
Correct, but we already have. But before I forget the BMWs, I was trying to make a point. When government changes, you have a change in the elite. And I was lamenting to another lawyer today, and we were trying to say it, and everyone is saying, we broke. Lawyers are not supposed to be broke, because even in times like these, we make money. And while you were saying that, I was joined by somebody else who was saying, listen, I do sales at X company and Y company, and the report today is BMW sold 20 BMWs this month. And I think out of that, I think 5 or 6 X5s, that's $1 million plus per X5. And so you have to ask yourself where people are getting money from to buy that. And when we delve deeper, there are people who are connected and connected politically and get work as a result of state contracts and so on. So at this time in this COVID season, you have an elite being created by inflated contracts and so on. And it seems as though people are not too interested in that.
When I've been told, as you're talking BMW anecdotes, I was told that BMW and condensed milk, the disparity between how many BMWs and how much condensed milk is sold in a society could tell you just how much of a banana republic it is. Because condensed milk is only sold in third world countries. First world countries don't sell condensed milk. Condensed milk is only sold in third world countries as mothers use it as baby food. And depending on the amount of condensed milk sold contrasted with the amount of BMW sold, you could determine how much of the national wealth is being siphoned off from the top, and you're creating an exaggerated wealthy class and a ridiculous poverty class. And just that information, I mean, we are at the point now where a lot of people, a lot of the good people, yourself and others, just fed up. I mean, people telling me, boy, Phillip, why you still? But we still want to try. I mean, all day, all these people who are represented by unions are calling me, and I want to tell you something. We have a set of meetings this week here with organizations of workers and groups of people that are going to end up in your chambers, because these people are not getting the representation that they deserve. And at some point, we have to take these matters before the courts. But that's another thing, and we will talk about that next week. What I want to close you, because I'm hearing the family calling on you. So I just want you to put Trinidadians' minds at ease that the opposition can't stop this attempt to trespass into people's private homes by law. We could stop, the opposition could stop this in its tracks, and you readily expect that they will do so.
Yes, any opposition with an ounce of common sense will do so, because the thing is, the people who would suffer, everyone is at risk. Even politicians are at risk, because it means that the police could come into your home under the pretext of searching without a warrant, and you see the warrant is a safeguard. A safeguard, you have to go and swear to a justice of the peace that I have information which causes me to suspect that this person has this in his apartment, that we can get evidence of criminality, of drugs, or whatever, and or documents that would show the commission of fraud or money laundering, and with a warrant, you have to swear, and there are consequences, because that can be explored. You can be found to be lying. That's malicious procurement of a warrant. There can be criminal charges, and there can be lawsuits. And if you remove that, then it means the police can simply walk into your house whenever they feel like to say, look, we feel that drugs in there. And we just walk in and search. In fact, they might even need to feel that. They might just want to walk in and see what you have. And you know, in the police service, you have police and thief. Sad to say, but
no. Dwayne, I'll go so far as to tell you, we have information that there are certain places in Trinidad where thieves can't go in your house just so without certain police officers giving them a blessing, because people get in a share. And that is ridiculous to have to admit, but thankfully under Gary Griffith, a lot of these police officers are being rooted out and sent on their way, so they're not damaging the reputation of the good and honest.
He might be rooted out half of the police service.
At the end of the day, boss, if we end up with a good and decent police service, before you go, right, there's literally one more thing I want to ask you, because the actual conversation began over the Zesafet and the wedding. Now, people obviously cannot be trusted to do the right thing. Big shot people and people at the lowest rung, both making the same error. If COVID-19 is as real and as dangerous as they say, then these people are pushing us further and further from having a free and open society by keeping the virus circulating. I'm not a doctor, I'm not weighing in on that. But what I'm saying is, the police could lock up the Zessas, but they can't lock up the wedding goers. Terrence Dial Singh, in a response, said that he could go in your house. He could come in your house with public health officials if he believed that there is an imminent threat. He don't need a new law, that he and law enforcement could come in and shut down your event and arrest everybody for an imminent threat. Is that true?
That may be his interpretation of his powers under the ordinance.
Public health ordinance.
Yeah, but that might be his interpretation.
You've never heard anything like this?
Ordinance no, that's an ordinance that was, that's a 1918 ordinance passed by a king in council. An ordinance which was passed when we didn't have elected officials, when we didn't have a constitution. So that if that is tested in court, it would be found to be wanting. I remember, I can't remember what the issue was. They were saying you can't leave your house to drive or to go anywhere. It was early in COVID, and then the Attorney General had to come out and say the Law Association issued a release saying he was wrong, and then he was saying, well, that's not what he meant, and what we should do is we should look at the intention, which was to limit the spread of COVID and so on. So that was one instance. It didn't reach the court because there was a threat of a lawsuit, and it didn't reach the court because the government knows.
Hold 1 second for me. They have a guy named Michael Dial on the thread saying that we were going good till now, but we're lying. I want Michael Dial to know that this was right after the issue of the wedding came up. It was the night that the Minister of Health said that he knew the minister who attended that wedding, and he told the minister not to go. And we have all of that information. Friend, we have no reason to lie. Sorry about that, Wayne. Continue.
I wasn't following that too much, but it's Valsane, he lives Valsane, so I guess he was there. But the thing is, I think they've been finding excuses. Be sure there was an excuse not to charge people in Be Sure. There's an excuse not to charge people in Valsane. There's an excuse not to charge the little Syrian engagement party down the islands. But there's never an excuse not to charge the debtor. So it is applied willy-nilly, arbitrarily, right? But that's a class issue. That's not nice.
Well, you see, now I want to tell you this. The commissioner said to me that if you flip the script, if it was 25 little Syrian boys or 25 little white boys swimming in sea lots or somewhere, that he would have been able to charge them too. And if it was what we consider Zessas having a wedding, he used Berkey Berkey Burke's house. He said Berkey having a wedding in his house, his private residence, there were hundreds of access in there. He can't go in. He said the law prevents certain things. Is this true in your interpretation?
In my interpretation, yes and no. I think in this instance, he was right with respect to the charging. If you're having something on private property, but you are charging money, then you move out of the private and into the public spectrum.
He said so early in the game. The commissioner said so early in the game that from the moment there is an expectation of a payment to enter, it becomes a public event, even if it's in your house.
Correct. So I think he was right on this occasion. With respect to what happened at Bayside, the people who called the police were the people who lived, the residents at Bayside. Because most of the people who were there, they did not live there. It was a upper class Zessa party. And most of the persons in attendance were Venezuelan girls and whatever. That sort of event, the police could have gone in and removed them. Because, you see, the thing is, they were creating, in the spirit of the ordinance, a real risk was being created. And if those persons are members of the public, so to speak, coming into private property and having an initial disaster party, even though you are not, even though there was no money charged and so on, there's a limit you can actually get away with. So that there's the potential. But I don't think the answer is right. Because although there's that potential, there's still the argument that, listen, this is private property.
Peaceful enjoyment of property.
And I'm not sure Bayside is as private as you think it is. If you have, where I live, 96 apartments, that's not that private. That's a huge compound.
Yeah, but it's still a gathering of private residents with common services, and that's the rule that governs it. It's common services. So I'm saying that public health ordinance, it really doesn't allow them. So the question...
No, listen, if you read the ordinance, on the face of it, they have the power to do it. But you have to remember that ordinance was passed at a time when there were no elected officials and there was no...
So why is no one challenging it then in the court? Why is no one seeking constitutional review of this?
Because whenever there's a breach that allows for challenge, the government backs down. I remember clearly with Stuart Young, I can't remember what the issue was, but the Law Association had issued a release and we had lawyers lining up to challenge it. I think it was a freedom of movement issue. They were saying that the government could restrict your movement, and I think
I remember.
If you remember, was saying if you come out and you just want to go to the grocery or something like that, and they were saying, no, we can stop you. And the Law Association had to intervene and say, no, that's
no, but the first person to intervene against Stuart Young was Gary Griffith. When Stuart Young, when the first day of the lockdown, and he was telling people about the powers that the army has, and he just spoke to the army, and he wouldn't test them because they're in an ignorant mood. It's all kind of stupidness. And Gary had to tell the nation that was all nonsense. There's no state of...
There's no credibility. I don't want to hear what Stuart Young...
you brought him up, but he is an actual political clown. Listen, Wayne, thanks a lot for being here. I don't know, all I wanted you to really do was set my and everybody else's mind at ease that Farris can't just push through a law in the parliament tomorrow so that private property stops being private property, because this government seems to be trying to get martial law without declaring martial law. I think we need to focus on these issues a little bit more.
Well, let me say, they cannot. But I think now that you're telling me, well, now that I get the impression, because you didn't exactly say it, but if what you're saying is that it's going to be laid in the House of Representatives tomorrow, it is destined to fail. They are not going to get a 2/3 majority.
Thanks a lot.
Sorry, 3/5, right? They will not get it. But if he's laying it in the House, 1 week after he laid and he tried to amend anti-gang, which needed a 3/5, I imagine that what he'll be doing is every week bringing legislation that where 3/5 is required, and the opposition would be opposing it every week, and they'll use that to turn the population.
It's not. It backfired. I want to tell you something. I want Faris Al-Rawi, because I know they watch when we do videos. I want Faris to hear me. That your attempt at demonizing the opposition over the anti-gang bill backfired. And now you raised their stocks. Now the public is looking to the opposition to protect them from you. Keep bringing your 3/5 majority bills, and all you will be doing is giving life back to an opposition that was flagging.
I tend to agree with that. It's a bad strategy, I think, but I think that 2 weeks in a row bringing legislation requiring a 3/5 knowing it would fail. I think that is a strategy, and it's bound to fail with the opposition. You're not going to get it the 3/5. No opposition would dare assault would agree with something like that. I can't say for the Independent Senate if it starts there, because they have a bunch of useless old people, if you ask me.
Boss, Monday on 104.7, 9 to noon, we're starting back our weekly show, and you're going to be one of our first guests in studio. So I'm going to be calling you and be calling for that. Thanks a lot for this. Thanks for taking the time on short notice. Thanks a lot, Wayne.
Take it easy. Bye-bye.
I was Wayne Sturge, one of the most competent criminal defense attorneys in this country. And I wanted him to tell you to put your mind at rest that no bill before the parliament to break the privacy of your home can pass without a 3/5, and the only way that can happen is if the opposition agrees. And if the opposition agrees and they pass the law, then the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago will call 1.4 million people out into the street. We will not accept it. This is still a democracy. Nobody voted the government into office to destroy the democracy. This is not going to end up like Venezuela, where people cowering in fear as a little thug takes control of their country. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago transcends politics. We are no longer political. I have said I am not going to contest any political election of any type in this country until we are at a point where we could unite 1.4 million people. If we can't do that, then what we will do is unite the people in defense of themselves. We will come out and protest. We will not allow that. They are trying to push back our rights as citizens, and we cannot accept that. Monday coming, either this Monday, we're trying for this Monday, or next week Monday, I will be back on the radio on 104.7 from 9 to noon every Monday, taking your calls for the full 3 hours, 9 to noon, every Monday morning. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. We will have people in studio to deal with problems. You all know you could call in and tell me that you're having an issue. I call the minister on the phone right there and resolve it for you live on air. You've seen it done on the live videos. We're going to be doing it on the radio too. You're going to see that. We're going to be broadcasting it live for those who are living abroad. So we either starting this Monday or the following Monday. The Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, I have been given the okay to tell those of you who still waiting to sign up, start signing up now. They've cleared the backlog. They're on top of it. Anybody who has registered and has not yet been able to complete and get their membership card and everything, you could call 769-4590 WhatsApp message. Those of you who have not signed up, citizensuniontt.org, citizensuniontt.com, sign up, get your card up to the first 10,000, and we're pretty much there. Up to the first 10,000, you're getting a 50% discount on your dues for the first 3 years. The other issue is, on the 12th of December, we are having the first Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago Grand Christmas Market. We are going to be having vendors markets every quarter throughout the country, and for our members, it's free to vend. For the entire country, it's free to attend. If you join the Citizens Union for the first market, you already save money on the price of a market. We have about 300 vendors already. The venue, people were asking the venue. The venue is massive. It is the grandstand in the Queen's Park Savannah, the whole grandstand. We are going to be making a very big market. We are in constant conversation with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service. We are making sure that we follow all guidelines, all no mask, no entry, sanitizing, social distancing, wash your hands, all of the above. We are in touch with the commissioner, and we are going to follow all guidelines. If you're a member of the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago and you have something to sell, you're in business, you're a small businessman, you're a vendor, you're a craftsman, artisan, you're a cook, you want to launch your new flavor of ice cream, your new coffee idea, you have a book to sell, you have stuff in your house that you're not using and you need to turn it into cash for Christmas, come and sell in the Grand Christmas Market on the 12th of December for free. For free. Every quarter. And we're trying to have another one on the 19th. Richard Blaze is working on a school so we can have multiples of venues. And if we get through, we'll be announcing that on the radio. So we're starting the radio show. So tune into the radio show. Spread the word about the radio show. We're going to be doing some more lives to keep you all informed. And anytime there's an issue, you know, I am going to be going live. Yes, they're suppressing the numbers on our feeds. So we're working on, believe it or not, buying multiples of phones, getting multiples of locations with multiples of SIM cards so that we will dance around the suppressing of this live video. I mean, it's cruel that they would control the media and then try to silence the people's last real voice. But we will do what it takes. The people that are behind the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago are some of the most civic-minded, patriotic people you will ever meet. They went through, as the Progressive Empowerment Party, they built a political movement. We fought a rigged election. We will never know if we truly lost. We will never know the outcome. And there's nobody in this country, like how in the States there is all of this constant discussion, lawsuits and everything in Trinidad and Tobago, nothing works. But I want to tell you something, and I rely on this, and you should too. The people of Trinidad, agriculture as well. Wayne Ram, if you're asking that for selling, you could come and sell all your produce. Anything that people want to buy, that you have to sell. My son coming to sell pizza. Anything that you have that other people might want to buy, come and sell. If you can make stuff to sell for Christmas, those of you who have stores and your stores closed down and COVID-19 damage you, join the Citizens Union. It's a one-time payment. Every market from here is yours, free to sell. We're going to try. I know Felicia and her team are on it. If we could get the 12th and the 19th, we're trying even for Christmas Eve to give you opportunities, to give the shoppers opportunities to shop and get real good prices from you so they don't have to go in the Empire stores and pay Empire gouging prices. They can come to you. And I want to tell you this, gently used items, nobody, unless you're filthy rich, listen, if you're paying your bills, if you have rent and mortgage to pay, if you have family to mind, nobody should be stunting this Christmas. If you in a position where you could say you're catching your ass and you're trying to keep smiling, trust me when I tell you this, the people that love you don't want you to hurt yourself trying to give them a Christmas present. Give them something that they know that you thought enough about them, to care enough about them, but don't hurt yourself in the process. And the Citizens Union Grand Christmas Market gives all the vendors the opportunity. You're literally vending for free from 10 in the morning till 6 in the evening. And we are going to do a second, possibly a third one before this Christmas. Anything that we could do to help all of the people, we're working on that. Sign up, get involved. The strength of the wolf is the pack. The strength of the pack is the wolf. There's going to come a time when we speak for 100,000 strong. When we get to that point, we will be negotiating with banks on their policies. We'll be negotiating with insurance companies on their policies. We will be talking to supermarkets and importers on their prices. It is people power. That is what the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago is. Don't wait for it to only be when you have a stone in your shoe, you come looking for help. We are here uniting all the people of Trinidad and Tobago, and the idea is to speak with one voice on issues that matter to all of us. We have also formed the Citizens Union Marketing Company to speak to companies. If we have 100,000 members and we have 100,000 members with membership cards and you selling eyeglasses, then you could come to us and say, listen, I want to give you 100,000 members 50% off eyeglasses on the presentation of their card. We say absolutely. Discounts on prices, on tires, on clothes, on travel, on anything. We need to make sure that the people of Trinidad and Tobago start benefiting. We are going to provide that counterbalance to the criminal contract mafia that seems to have corrupted everything in this country, from government to public service, in harmony with zealous and dedicated criminals in the business sector and unethical professionals that have made life in this blessed paradise on earth a hellhole, a shithole, a latrine pit. We could turn it around on sheer numbers. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to pelt a stone. You don't have to burn a tire. You don't have to act violently. All you need to do is act together. Together. Our collective labor, consumption, and vote will change Trinidad and Tobago. And that's a conversation we're going to continue to have. But right now, we have a massive team dealing with signing up the members. Get on board if you are not yet on board. This video, as many of you as possible, share it as many places as possible. Share it in other people's. Share it as a private message and tell them share it too. Satish is going to edit out parts of the speech with Wayne Sturge so that we can share that virally on WhatsApp so people understand that the government cannot, they're not entitled to come and kick down your door. And all of this that he revealed earlier, we need to fix all of that, and we're making a note of everything. As you could see, we went inside the dump. I went and stand up with the Kobos and the scavengers and the trucks dumping to show you what really takes place in this country. I just sent a video that Christian De Leon edited to send the Diego Martin River to show you that we get more water today, just today. We got more water from the sky today than this country could consume for this whole entire year. And we just dump it in the sea. We need to fix those things. There is strength in numbers, and this is a real critical thinking, logical organization that has an idea how to fix everything. So if they think that this is one of those organizations that was going to come and pelt a political stone, like make me a leader, give me a chance, give me a 2-seat, and when election done, we didn't get what we wanted, so we gone, look, we still here. Look, we're still making a difference, rescuing people's house from banks, solving problems, public and private sector. Since we start, people have been seeing what real representation could deliver, and still we don't hold public office. Imagine when we finally do. As another day and another time that will come. Yeah? One of the issues Satish brought up with me is the issue of people who have spouses who are not Trinidadian but have been living in Trinidad for years, some of them decades. Every couple of months they have to go and get their passport stamp or some document stamped in legal affairs. We want to know all of these people. We want to know how many of these people, because that is mistreating people. There are certain guidelines, and if the guidelines have been achieved, if the guidelines have been passed, if the people have done what they were supposed to do to get their citizenship, why don't they have their citizenship? These are things that we want to do. If you are one of those people, get in touch with Satish Ramsaran. He's on this thread right now. He's on my friends list. Get in touch with him, send him a message. Go on any of the pages. Citizens Union has a page, Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago has a page and a group. Send us a message there. Reach out to any of the team members. We're building out the public face of the thing. And this radio show, 2 months older, August, the 10th was the election. We launch in September, October. So we launch in September, October, November. 3 months, in November, we already putting down roots in a radio show. We came to fix it. We said that we will fix it. We are not going to stop until we fix it. And all 1.4 million of you who want a better day, who want a better Trinidad and Tobago for your loved ones, for yourself, for your family, for your friends, you want to retire here, you want to come back home here, send us that. You come and you join citizensunion.com. Those of you who would like to help at a higher level, because they have people like that. My partner Harvey, I mean, Harvey's a foundation stone of this place, Unique Woodworking. I'll tell you all something. Anything that you could do to help Unique Woodworking, please give that man some help, because he is so He is so willing to help everybody who is trying to do anything for a better country. He does all these kitchens and doors and all that kind of stuff. Check him out at Unique Woodworking. All of the people, all of the businesses who feel underserved and marginalized, come and join the Citizens Union. We will make sure that we channel our 100,000 members to your business. We'll kill you with business. You'll have to get bigger doors. But the truth of the matter is, this is how it works. This is how the gang mentality in the secret societies and the chambers and the manufacturers association, this is what it means. Organize themselves in common pursuit of profit. We want to organize all the people of Trinidad and Tobago in common pursuit of the wellness and the well-being of all of the people. We want to show that you don't have to be holding public office to change the way things are done in Trinidad and Tobago. We've done it for a long time. We've accomplished a lot. We've gotten the Dangerous Dog Act. We got the Children's Authority Bill. We got the parking for the disabled. And now that we are a full social activist group, no politics, join us. You could be a member of any political party and join the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. If you are a foreigner living in Trinidad and Tobago, we represent you. Join the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. If you are a Trinidadian living in Russia and you want to make sure you still have feet in this country, roots in this country, join the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago. We have a VIP card for those who would like to join and be a part of the change at the highest level. Reach out, message me, I'll give you more information, put you on to Felicia to talk. Those of you with issues that you know affect a great number of people, because we've solved things like EMA, like noise. We've solved flooding in people's streets. We've had roads fixed. I mean, when the radio show starts, 9 to noon, you will hear on air how many things we are doing right there and then to fix this country. We're going to use the courts. We're going to use the power of normal persuasion. We're going to use protests. We are going to use people power, our labor, our consumption, and our vote. Trinidadians and Tobagonians are entitled to much better than they get now. And we, the Citizens Union of Trinidad and Tobago, are here to make sure that that becomes the reality. For all those other political charlatans and stone pelters, watch where they went August 11th. They hung up their guns and they're gone. What was the point of view? Yeah? This Monday, hopefully it's Monday, we're finalizing tomorrow. And if we finalize, also, we're talking to a radio station that deals with the, there's a large following for East Indian music in the country, and we're talking to a radio station that's allowing us a rebroadcast as well. So that is, we're working on that. Trinidad and Tobago, all of the people who have joined, all of the people who signed up, listen, we appreciate you, and if you can, sell the idea to your cousin, to your sister, to your brother, to your mother, to your father, your family, children. Get everybody on board. Once all of us rowing in the same direction, Trinidad and Tobago will ride off into the sunset. Yeah, we're going to do this. Don't think that this is something that we're thinking about doing it. Roots in, wheels on the ground, radio station launching, plenty more things coming. We have set up our call center offices. If you are looking for a job as a call center agent, a collection agent, you would like to be a part of what we're doing, you could reach out to Felicia Hola at 769-4590. WhatsApp her and say, I'm looking for a job, and see how they could fit you into the thing. The market is on the 12th of December. If you have something to sell, bring it there and sell it for free. Somebody out there might want what you have to sell, and both of you will walk away from there happy. Yeah? So I think that's about it. To bring it to a close, all of the people panicking about Faris and his threat, let him fold it up real tight and put it where the monkey put his nuts.